Owimbowe. Ayo, ayo, ayo. We're live. UFC 321, UFC Abu Dhabi. Gonna let a couple people trickle in here. I just posted the link on Instagram, so I suspect a few people coming in, especially for this pay-per-view. An absolute banger. Started off with 14 fights. I think we're down to 13 after one loss. And it's gonna be a banger. Straight up, guys. And I'm gonna do a UFC breakdown. I'm going to be talking about every single fight, starting from the early prelims. And just so everybody knows, this fight card starts at 10 a.m. I freaking love Abu Dhabi cards. 10 a.m., you're watching fights with breakfast and coffee, and the main card starts at 2 p.m. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I think there are a lot of good spots, a lot of obvious favorites, very clear favorites, of course, open to upsets. Maybe a couple of dogs, but I think this card is very straightforward. Knock on wood. Don't want too much excitement here. Coming off a pretty bad betting week in full transparency, but we're gonna get it done. We're gonna get it done. Glad you missed these streams. Glad you're here, man. Again, just yapping for a couple of minutes. I just posted that story. We got about 6 people in here right now, so I'm gonna get started, and this is gonna be a fairly fast breakdown. I'm not going to talk too much about odds, but I'm going to give you my spots. All right. I'm going to talk about some bets I already have. And yeah, we're going to move forward. So starting off Jacqueline Amorim and Mizuki. Just Mizuki. That's one word, one name. Guys, Jacqueline Amorim, very good fighter, more specifically, very good grappler who's going to be very dominant in this fight, guys. This is quick WMMA. This is not going to get the crowd going. This is when you're putting the Splenda in your coffee. Mizuki hasn't fought in the last 5 years. She's fought like 2 or 3 times, guys. Has 1 win in 5 years. Getting older, just not active. This will be a perfect representation of ring rust. I fully expect Jacqueline Amorim to come in here, get the takedowns, and absolutely maul Mizuki. Now, the question is, will she get the finish, or will she just dominate her 30, 26, or 27 and leave it to the judges? That is unknown. And guess what? This week, no surprise there, I'm not betting on WMMA. I'm just not doing it. Playing it safe for this week. I really want to hone in on my spots. I don't want to get too crazy. Maybe for a long shot, you throw Jacqueline Amorim by finish. But guys, I think you want to play safe. I think she's very parlay safe. I don't see a world where Mizuki gets the best of her. Potentially, maybe competitive, slightly competitive in the striking, but Amorim should absolutely take her down, maul her, find a submission, or even some ground and pound. Next up, Azat Maxim versus Mitch Raposo. Fun fact, I was able to watch the weigh-ins. Maxim came in at about 4 pounds over the limit, and some confusion there. He looked confused. Everybody looked like, what the heck's going on? It looks like the fight's still on, and he's facing Mitch Raposo, and he is a sizable favorite here. And you know what? I said I wasn't going to give odds, but when I'm talking to you guys and we're talking about betting, I guess I have to. I'm not going to go into props in this video, but what I am going to do is I am going to bring up the live odds right now, and I apologize for not being prepared for that. But I do need to see what the live odds here, because maybe things are moving. All right. Azat Maxim's a minus 450 favorite. Mitch Raposo plus 325 underdog. Guys, I said Azat Maxim's parlay safe. However, when you're getting him at minus 450, I don't think that's the move. I did bet him earlier in the week. If you're a subscriber, of course, through my Instagram, you saw that in a parlay. I got him at minus 300. I think that's fairly safe. The fight is simple. Mitch Raposo, talented kid. We're just waiting to see the talent. It hasn't come through. He's a dominant wrestler who has some pretty technical boxing, but I believe it was Sumaderji. I believe that's the last person he fought. You know, we have a lot of lanky Asians now, and he was just lost. He was lost. He was getting tagged up. He couldn't get the takedowns. The 1 or 2 times he was able to bring down Sumaderji was able to shoot up. So Mitch Raposo having a really tough time mixing it in. So when you get him here against Maxim, who actually has had some real UFC competition, he was able to withstand Tagir. You know what I'm saying? Even though he lost, he looked very good. He looks like a UFC fight. I think Mitch Raposo is going to have a lot of issues trying to take him down, and even striking. I could see Maxim finding a finish here. And to be honest with you, I could see him being powerful, knocking out Mitch Raposo in a tough spot, or Mitch Raposo going for a desperate takedown and Maxim finding the neck, or just getting into really good position, maybe finding his back. I do like Maxim here if you want to play him inside the distance. I don't think it's the craziest thing, but I think it's a bit of a stretch, guys. I'm all over Maxim here, Mitch Raposo. I just don't think he's UFC caliber, or he's just having really bad luck and we haven't seen everything really come together. I think it's the same here in Abu Dhabi. Next up, And my God, my screen is blocking Hamdi here. Hamdi. Let's talk about Hamdi. The Hamon. That means ham in Spanish, by the way. Hamdi Abdelawab minus 475 favorite. Chris Barnett plus 350 favorite. This is what I'm going to say about this fight, guys. I was all over Hamdi when he was fighting Muhammad Usman. Why? Muhammad Usman is a huge, jacked, steroid using heavyweight who's just not a good fighter. He's on stilts. And Hamdi came out in that fight and he looked like the freaking man in the first round. Nasty leg kicks, a powerful jab. Muhammad Usman, the stilts were out immediately. Muhammad Usman got hit with a jab and he started breakdancing. I thought it was a shoe-in for the win. Hamdi will get it done. What happens? Going to round two, no surprise. Look at that beautiful physique. He gasses out in the second and third round, and Muhammad Usman wins with this silly little jab, and just he upped the volume a little bit. So for Hamdi, and to my point of this rant, is Hamdi to come in as a minus 475 favorite, regardless of who's standing across the octagon, is absolutely absurd. So I want to tell you this. If you are betting Hamdi Abdelawab, I understand it. I understand that he is a pick of yours. Sorry, not a bet. But nobody should be betting this gentleman at minus 475 favorite. And I just gave you the perfect example of why. And he looked more in shape in that fight than he did in this weigh-in. This guy cannot be trusted. He's apparently this world-class Egyptian wrestler. How often have you heard of Egyptian wrestling? Because I haven't. I freaking haven't heard of the pharaohs getting it down and shooting single legs. So scratch this guy out of your freaking parlay. Please, for the love of God, let me save you that. And then we have Chris Barnett. Wow. Look at that picture. The picture says it all. So, and I don't want to fat shame people. I'm not the most fit guy around, but I'm also not a professional fighter. So I get to freaking bash these guys who are coming in with tits. So here's the problem with Chris Barnett. Not only is he extremely out of shape, but he's 5'9" in the heavyweight division. But surprisingly, we've seen him fight UFC caliber fighters, and he's actually won. But now he's getting older. He fought Kennedy Nzechukwu, and that fight was over before it started. Why? Because he started jumping up, and he like tore an ACL or something, and then it was game over. Again, Kennedy's huge. He was able to bring it on him. TKO. Now, with both of those things being said, I said, don't bet Hamdi. Am I necessarily picking Chris Barnett? Yes, I am. I'm picking fucking Chris Barnett here. And it sounds insane. It sounds insane because I think Chris Barnett is a significantly better striker. And maybe, just maybe, Hamdi's going to get really uncomfortable here, right? And I could see this fight kind of being even for the majority of it, but then maybe Chris Barnett taking over, or maybe Hamdi having to go for a takedown and Chris Barnett not allowing him to do it. Apparently, Chris Barnett has very good takedown defense. And then what? We make it to decision? Well, my only concern is that we get an absolute robbery in decision and Hamdi wins a decision. But you want to flyer bet? You want to come back and comment something? Chris Barnett by TKO plus 700? I'm picking Chris Barnett here. I think you got to be crazy to bet Hamdi at minus 475. I think this is dog or bust. It's an absolutely degenerate bet. He's probably not going to win a decision because they're on the other side of the globe, and I think they want Hamdi to win. I don't know how the Abu Dhabi folk feel about Egyptians, right? So Chris Barnett plus 700 TKO. I'm done with this rant. He's my pick. That's my bet for a long shot. Thank me later or just tell me I'm an idiot. Either two. All right. Now, we just came from two heavyweight blobs, and it's nice because now we have Walter Walker. And this picture doesn't do him justice because he looks incredibly more in shape than he does in that picture. And he is now coming in. Let's see the odds. Walter Walker's a minus 375 favorite, and Louis Sutherland is plus 300. Louis Sutherland. Both of these guys had fight cancellations recently. And this is what I'm going to say. I'm all over Walter Walker. I think this guy is parlay safe. I think he has made so much progress. People still judge him off his UFC debut. You're crazy. You're nuts because he's a different person. He's a different fighter. Like, dude, compare his physique. You could see the difference in dedication and what he's doing into the sport. And then he's going to come in and get 3 heel hooks in the first round back to back to back. Are you kidding me, bro? Are you kidding me? And now you're going to give him Louis Sutherland, who has some power. You see videos of him. He's juiced out of the gills, steroids. Oh, that guy, that's a big dude, and he's thick. No homo. That's one thick, double C, triple C thick. You know what I'm saying? So he's a big boy. he lands something, it could be dangerous. But you know what? Give me the guy who has 4 UFC fights under his belt, constantly improving, has turned his life around, the physique's in check, the diet's in check, the training's in check, and he's coming in and getting finishes. I think Walter Walker under 1.5 rounds, I think he finds the sub, but I wouldn't be surprised if Walter tries to make a point, maybe looks for mount, looks for a TKO, but I think he needs to play it safe here because Louis Sutherland is strong, but he looks like shit. I think he's off the sauce. He didn't do his post cycle, and he has gyno up the ass. His arms are fucking massive. I'll give him that. He's a big freaking dude, but Walter Walker's the better fighter. Sutherland's unproven. I mean, this is straightforward. I have Walter Walker in like 3 lays. If he loses a fight, I'm gonna have a shit night. Chances are, if you subscribe to me, you're gonna have a shit night. But Walter Walker should absolutely win this fight, guys. That's my take. Glad to see you guys are excited. Missed these streams, both MMA Casuals back. Thank God. I love you guys. See, I'm happy that you guys would watch these streams and enjoy them. I know I've been super inconsistent and I apologize. We're working on it. See, I got even a little studio set up here. We're working on it. Give me a freaking chance. Next up, Nathaniel Wood, Jose Miguel Delgado. This fight's really tough, guys. Jose Delgado coming in as a -145 favorite. Nathaniel Wood's a +115 dog. And I got to be honest with you, I've stared at this fight more than I've stared at most. I don't know what to do. That was me in the last couple of days. What the hell am I going to do? I watch footage on both guys, and I'm sold on both guys. This is the real deal. There's some differences here, though, right? And this is what I'm going to say. Nathaniel Wood is a great all-around fighter, and it seems like he really found his comfort level at 145. My problem is this guy's a big bantamweight. And now when he came up to featherweight, he's a really small featherweight. 5'6". I know how tall Volk is, but Nathaniel Wood's pretty freaking small. And then you have Jose Miguel Delgado. The problem with him and the selling point of his is he's his finisher. He's killing everybody. Round 1, round 2, it doesn't matter. He's going to find it at 145. But let's look at this competition, and that's what I see everybody's kind of puzzled with because he hasn't fought anyone like Nathaniel Wood, and I think that's warranted. However, Haider Ramil, tough guy, but you look at that fight, Haider Ramil pushes pressure. Nathaniel Wood doesn't. Like, what's going to happen here? It's really freaking tough. This is what I am going to say. Nathaniel Wood's coming in on short notice. Has to fly to Abu Dhabi to fight this absolute killer. Jose Miguel Delgado is going to look a lot bigger in there, a lot longer. They're going to be just as quick as each other. But this is a guy who has killer instinct and finisher ability. Nathaniel Wood has been caught a couple of times. Nathaniel Wood has come back in fights where he looks like he's almost out of it. He's gotten chinned a little, right? Never fully out, but he's gotten checked. And my concern is coming in on short notice. I don't know. I mean, a lot of these fighters stay in shape all year round, but coming off short notice from Australia, making it to Abu Dhabi, if Jose Delgado finds the window, it's over. If he gets his chin in these 15 minutes, he's going to pounce on him. He's going to get to him. He's going to find the finish. So I really like Jose Miguel Delgado here. I think it's going to be a very close and competitive fight. This is going to be a banger. I'm going to be sweating. I could see this fight not going the distance. Maybe under 2.5 is kind of a move here from either guy. Both have finishing ability, both very talented, but I think Jose Delgado's here to prove something. Let's see if he makes if he's worth it at -145, but I'm going Jose Delgado. That's the official pick. Ludovic Klein, Mateus Rebecki. I'm going to start off by saying I almost feel biased because I love Mateus Rebecki. But you know what? They say if you do the same thing again and again and you expect a different result, you're insane, right? So I think I would be absolutely insane to just lean on Rebecki, even though I love how he fights. I love everything about this guy, right? Rebecki +110 underdog, Ludovic Klein -135 favorite. Guys, there's not a world where I could bet on Rebecki here, right? I understand he's durable, as durable as they get. There's no one as durable as this guy. I understand that he pushes forward. I understand that he's exciting. I understand he has power. But with a lot of those things is coming a lot of damage. And every fight I see him take more damage and he just bleeds more. And he looks like a shell of himself a little more and more. I'm not saying he's bad. Like in that last fight, I think there was an argument for him to win it. But I cannot constantly get a guy who's scraping by. Can he finish Ludovic Klein? Yeah. But Mateus Rebecki is kind of this repetitive robot when he starts winging his punches and he starts making this a dogfight. This could just become a dogfight for him, like every other fight he's a part of. And I don't think Ludovic Klein's gonna partake in that. I think Ludovic Klein is the guy with the longer reach, is going to keep distance. I think he's going to establish a hell of a jab. I think Rebecca's going to start bleeding, get cut up from round number 1. I think he's going to be exhausted from pushing forward. And I think Ludovic Klein, if he's able to fight off his back foot, just land those straight punches, maybe throw in a takedown or two, I think he's going to be fine. Is Mateus Rebecca like Gamrot? Is he going to take down Klein and hold him down for 15 minutes? Fuck no. Can he take down Klein? Yeah. But I'm confident that Klein could work his way back up and even find his own takedowns. So this fight, I think, is pretty straightforward. I think Ludovic Klein just needs to stay away from danger. The second he gets into a dogfight with Rebecca, I kind of lean more Rebecca. But again, Rebecca's taking a lot of damage. I think that Chris Duncan fight did a number to him. I think he's coming in too quick off that fight. So, guys, I really like Ludovic Klein here. He's my pick. Pretty confident in him as a minus 135 favorite. Moving on. Ikram Aliskerov, Jung Young Park. If you haven't listened to me before, I need you to turn the AirPods up. I need you to turn your phone up because this is as straightforward as I can make this. Okay. Iron Turtle's fun. Jung Sung Park. If for those of you who are a little more casual, Jung Sung Park is fun. Jung Sung Park has his little dance. He's durable. He's a vet. But guys, there are levels to this shit. And I'm going to tell you something. I think Ikram Aliskerov is very good. Yeah, he got finished by Robert Whittaker. Okay. All right. And who hasn't gone to war with Robert Whittaker? And he was coming off short notice. But everybody, there's a lot of people coming in on Jung Sung Park, and all of a sudden it's like, yeah, this is a great dog. He's gonna out wrestle Ikram. He's gonna overpower him. He'll be on top of him for 15 minutes like he always is. I don't have that read. I actually think that's so far from the truth or what's bound to happen. I think Ikram Aliskerov isn't going to the ground with this guy. I think he's going to be able to defend any potential takedown. And when they're striking, even though that the Iron Turtle could have some technical striking at times, Ikram Aliskerov is going to light him up. I think he's going to piece him up, and maybe I'm going to get clipped or something. Someone's going to come back in this video and say, you're a moron. But I think Ikram Aliskerov absolutely finishes Jung Young Park. I think he's in a comeback spot here. He's in Abu Dhabi. I mean, what else do you want? You have a crafty vet who, yeah, he's going to keep pushing forward. Somewhat of a test for a prospect, but not Ikram Aliskerov, guys. I'm sorry. Ikram Aliskerov, even though it wasn't for a long time, was in there with Robert Whittaker. Ikram Aliskerov is the real deal. Ikram Aliskerov can find the finish here, and I think he does. If he doesn't within a round and a half, yeah, okay, let's see if his cardio holds up, and then we get worried. But these guys go to decision, and I hate to break your hearts. He's getting the nod in Abu Dhabi. And a lot of people, you know, my media, social media, Twitter, YouTube, everything's filled with guys talking about UFC. It's what I do for a living, right? So I listen to a lot of people. I really do. And everybody on Jung Young Park I'm like, are you smoking crack or what? I mean, you're in Abu Dhabi. You know how much of a difference that makes in your predictions, especially when you're leaning towards a fight could go the distance? I mean, guys, come on. It's ridiculous. I'm sorry. Jung Young Park is not a good underdog here. Ikram Aliskerov, so parlay safe, and he's only like a minus 230. I'll tell you right now, minus 230. Jung Young Park plus 180. Guys, I think this guy's as parlay safe as it gets. Ikram Aliskerov, I took him also to finish the fight within the distance. It is what it is. Last fight. Not gonna lie, you had a bad streak. How you feeling this week? Pretty freaking good. And I said that, you know, I have to every once in a while I have to go reevaluate, right? I have to reevaluate how I'm doing picks, how I'm watching footage. A lot of eggs in one basket the last couple of weeks. Some crazy upsets that's bound to happen. It's gambling and stuff. I feel pretty good. I think a lot of the spots are obvious. If you rewind, watch back to this live, you're gonna see how I feel about a lot of these fights. There are some live dogs, but I think it's a pretty straightforward card. Let's find the spots. I hope we get a better week. Ever since I've been betting, guys, it's waves. And when I'm losing, I'll lose a couple of weeks in a row. When I'm winning, I've won big, win a few weeks in a row, but it's in waves. So I'm waiting for that wave to come back. We had a few good weeks before the bad ones. Anyway, I feel pretty good. We're moving on. The prelim fight, the last prelim fight. Nasrat Haqparast killing Salkild. And you know what, guys? I just realized I made a huge error. I said that Nathaniel Wood is coming off short notice in his fight, and I'm wrong. It was Killen Salkild. This is the gentleman coming in on short notice, and I got the wrong Aussie guy. So I do apologize, guys. I absolutely messed that up. So if you were here listening when I said that, I do apologize. I know someone's gonna leave a comment saying I'm an idiot. So, all right, guys, this is straightforward. Back to that. Killen Salkild is coming in off short notice, and he's going against a guy who not only has cardio, his volume is ridiculous, and more importantly, he has been in there with the meanest sons of guns in the UFC. He's a crafty vet. He's been here for a bit. He's pretty young, right? I think he's 28, and he has a whole bunch of UFC fights. He's been in there with Jared Gordon. His last fight against not Rebecca, Ribovics was an absolute freaking banger. A guy who wins split decisions because of his pace, because of his volume. I love him here, right? I love him in this spot. And at this very moment, Mr. Hackparas, where are you? He's it's a pick 'em, -110 on both sides, guys. And then let's talk about Killen Salkild, because even though he's coming in off short notice, I'll tell you something. The guy's a killer. And I'm going to say this. Round one is going to be an absolute danger zone for everybody betting Nasrat Hakparas, because Killen is coming in to kill, and he could grapple. He starched some guy on his UFC debut, Jubilee or whatever. And you know, I've loved what I've seen. He's a real deal contender. I think he's a good prospect. He's an absolute dog. He's tough as stone. But again, the experience of Hazrat Hakparas, he's gotten his ass beat before and keeps moving forward. Do I think Killen is going to come in and just find some starchy finish in the first round? I don't think so. I think Hazrat's gonna get right through that. I think he's gonna outvalue him. I think he's gonna outpace him. And let's say Killen gets some nice, land some nice shots, gets a takedown in round number one. Round 2 and 3 are all Nasrat, all Nasrat. So I think you bet Hazrat here. I keep saying Hazrat. Nasrat, my God. I think you bet Nasrat here, guys. I think it's safe. I straight up put a unit on him by decision, because I think Killen showed that he's tough. I'm concerned slightly of his cardio, because maybe in round 2 and 3, when Nasrat starts bringing in the volume, maybe Salkild can't handle it and, you know, find the TKO or something. But Nasrat's not really a finisher. So I like him to just play this smart, out volume, outpace Killen. And in Abu Dhabi, I could see him getting a nod. 30-27, 29-28, whatever it may be. I like Hakparas here by decision, guys. Very straightforward. But I understand if you're on the Killen side, just take everything into account, especially the fact that he's coming in on short notice. All right. This is a fight that has everybody puzzled. And actually, the line just moved. The line just moved from the last time I looked at them, which was about 30 minutes ago. Alexander Ratchik here, Azamat Mirzakhanov. Yes, I see the resemblance. You don't have to tell me. Ratchik was an underdog all week, and right now he's a -120 favorite. Azamat's a -105 underdog. Guys, what the heck is going on here? I'm going to break it down straight up. Alexander Ratchik has been fighting the best of the division. 3 straight losses, 3 in a row. Nobody ever likes to see that, because you're bound to get cut, right? Regardless of who you're fighting, you got to be putting on exciting fights. Yes, he's got him finished. Yes, he's been there in with a few guys. Very technical, very good striker, powerful. I mean, this guy could do it all, right? If we're not looking, if we're not looking at his losses, we're not digging too deep into what's happened recently. This guy's nasty. Go watch some of this guy's footage. And then you have this 5'10" fighter who should not be fighting at 205, right? And he's starching everybody, and he's undefeated, you know? And it's hard, because I'm not going to say he's only fought tomato cans, but he hasn't fought any competition that you could line up with the competition that Ratchik has faced. So you have 6'4" Ratchik coming in with technical ability, a guy who loves to use kicks, a guy who could easily keep distance, right? And now you have Azamat Mirzakhanov, who really just needs one, right? But he has to close the distance. He has these loopy punches to have to close the distance. You know, he lunges forward. And my concern is, what happens when Ratchik starts hitting these strong leg kicks? What happens when he teeps him? What happens when he's dancing around the octagon? There could be a lot of trouble for Azamat here. And if Azamat was coming in and just absolutely dogging everybody, I'm like, okay, but that's not the case. We've seen him get into some fishy situations and find his way out, but not my most confident pick. I am going Azamat, because at the end of the day, he just needs one. I really do believe that. And look at the Hiri fight. with Alexander Ratchik. Again, a completely different fight style, completely different matchup, two different guys. But when Ratchik was piecing up Jiri Prochazka, and then guess what? Round three, Jiri being Jiri, he found the shot. Ratchik was a little winded. He found the fucking shot. Next thing you know, it's over. So if Azamat could kind of just find a way to slowly close the distance, if he's checking leg kicks, if he's avoiding big, heavy kicks in general, right? High kicks, side kicks, whatever it may be, teeps. If he's able to avoid that, block that, show Ratchik that that he doesn't respect him as much. As soon as Azamat closes the distance, he finds a looping punch. I think he could finish him. Again, if this goes to decision, we're in Abu Dhabi, things might look sketchy. I'm going Azamat. Not my most confident pick. I did put a unit on him. I wish I would have done it now. It's minus 105, but it was very similar. I think it was minus 110. So that's what I got to say about that. Who's next? Alexander Volkov, Halton Almeida. Oh, man. Guys, Alexander Volkov, plus 150, Halton Almeida, minus 190. Guys, when you're a handicapper, when you're a guy who's big on bets, especially me, I want to do great, right? It's not, I obviously have you guys paying for a subscription, not all of you, right? But the ones who do, I care about you guys making money. I care about my product. But if you notice, those are all my slips. I don't give you something to bet that I'm not betting. So of course I care about this. Is my money, and I care about, my subscribers, my followers. I care about it, right? One thing we do early is we look at cards. I'm already looking at cards that are already on our betting sites, right? Because two things could happen. You could see line movement close, right? Or you could see all of a sudden an underdog flip to a favorite, right? When everybody starts betting, when everybody starts analyzing, when everybody's doing their breakdowns. And to be honest with you, it feels freaking great when you bet an underdog and you see them flip to the favorite. I got absolutely dog walked with these line movement, because when I saw this fight, I said, Halton Almeida is going to smoke Volkov. And he was like minus 290 or some shit. Maybe a little less. And now this guy's minus 190. Volkov's plus 150. And I got to be honest with you, I don't know what everybody's seeing. I like Alexander Volkov. I think it's, number one, he's a giant, but it's someone who's progressed, who's been through the motions, has wins and losses at the top of the division. He's been here for a long time. And I'll be frank with you, I picked him against Ciryl Gane. And I'm not being biased, but I think he won that fight. I think it's bullshit that they gave it to Ciryl Gane. It should debatably be Volkov fighting for the belt if that was the contender fight, right? So I had a feeling that fight was going to go down that way. But Alexander Volkov can't stop a takedown. Ciryl Gane took him down. So now you have him against Halton Almeida. Yes, a BJJ specialist, but someone who's going to be relentless with the grappling, who's going to shoot straight at his legs. And you're going to tell me that you have Volkov coming in as a plus 150 underdog? And a lot of people are all over him? Guys, I've seen improvements, but let's not get crazy here. I like the hair. I like the new ponytail and shit. He's fucking scary looking. He's like scary Russian guy. Terrible accent. I apologize. But what the heck are we talking about? I think Halton Almeida comes in here, takes down Alexander Volkov, absolutely bombards him, is literally white on rice, exhausts him, finds mount, goes for a whole bunch of subs. If Alexander Volkov gets to the cage and makes it up, Halton Almeida is going to get him down. I love Halton Almeida within the distance, and now that's probably crazy plus money. I really like that bet. Halton Almeida, most of his fights don't go to decision, right? So my bet is Halton Almeida. I think he gets the takedown early. I think he dominates. I think even if he's not finishing him on the ground, he's just on top of him. I think he's done it before. He went 5 rounds with Derek Lewis, and he had, I don't know how many minutes, close to 25 minutes of control time. He just sat on him the whole fight. Did he get awarded for that? No. So maybe he's more on the verge of getting a finish, right? Or sorry, now he's fighting at a riskier level because he doesn't want to be that guy who's just laying on his opponent for 15 minutes. But guys, Halton Almeida within the distance, I think it's pretty safe. I think he's a parlay piece. I have him in one of them. Money line now is good at minus 190. Maybe you throw a 2-piece parlay with him. Guys, I really like Almeida. I don't see the appeal of Volkov. And this is someone who literally picked Volkov against Ciryl Gane. So it's not a bias thing. Almeida's a real deal. I think he wins here. Guys, Umar Nurmagomedov, last 3 fights against Mario Batista. Let's start off with Umar Nurmagomedov. This guy's nasty. I don't care what anybody says. Yes, he lost to Merab. He broke his hand in like the 3rd round. Yes, he gassed out a little against Merab. But if there's a guy in the division who could give Merab a run for his money and could potentially beat him, even though it didn't happen the first time, it's Umar Nurmagomedov. I don't even know what I just said there. Umar Nurmagomedov. And if you don't believe that, you are a casual straight up. This guy's nasty. This guy's a technical striker, a technical grappler. He does have cardio. Ex Marab. Ex Marab. Leave Marab out of this. Umar is nasty, right? And he's been fighting at the top of the division, right? And now you're giving him Mario Batista. I like Mario Batista. Even that Jose Aldo fight, I liked him. He did what he needed to do to win. And that's something I want you to remember. Mario Batista's gonna do what he needs to win. He will outpoint you. He will take you to the cage. He will hold you. He will sniff you. He will lick your neck. He doesn't give a fuck. And he doesn't care if you're throwing eggs or tomatoes at him. He doesn't care if the crowd's booing. He doesn't care if Dana White's in his earpiece telling him, get out of there, separate. He doesn't care. He's looking to win rounds and he's good at it, right? Now, here's my problem with Mario Batista. He gained some credibility when he beat Patchy Mix because I'm sorry, the whole you held Jose Aldo as literally his retirement fight. Basically, Jose Aldo was out the door. He had already come back from retirement, and he's out there winning a close fight. I'm not impressed. Sorry, personally. But then he goes against Patchy Mix, gives him the introduction, and everyone's like, "Oh, now Mario's the real deal." Sorry, guys, that just got disproven. Because some guy making his UFC debut from a regional promotion, right? Some guy who wasn't all that, just beat Patchy Mix by decision in the early prelims. So, yes, Mario Batista's good. I'm going to give him respect, but there's levels to this shit. And I don't think the Jose Aldo or the Patchy Mix fight say everything about him. That's my point here, right? Umar Nurmagomedov's coming in as a minus 650. Do I think that's wide? Absolutely. Should he be like a minus 300 favorite? Absolutely, but not minus 650. Then you have Mario Batista plus 450. I'm going to tell you something. I would line this minus 300 plus like 210, right, for Umar Nurmagomedov. But the fact that we're in Abu Dhabi and the majority of both of these guys' fights make it to decision, I think that's how Umar gets the minus 650 move. But there's something I want to say here. I think Mario Batista could kickbox and have a really good fight against Umar Nurmagomedov. But the second Umar goes for a takedown, I think he'll get it. I think he could get Mario Batista into submission trouble. Mario's been submitted before, and I think that's ultimately how he wins this fight. But don't shy away from Umar in the striking. But I think fairly compatible in striking. As soon as we get into the grappling, that's where Umar looks like he's levels ahead of Mario Batista. And I truly believe that. Now, there's something I want to talk about. Mario Batista came out and said he's going to knock out Umar in the first round. That's not happening. Number two, even though Umar's been clipped, but it's not happening. Umar Nurmagomedov got told by Dana White at the press conference, he's like, oh, you want a title shot? Because he made a reference to the title shot. Dana White looked at him and said, then make it a show. Go out there and make it a show. That's what Dana wants. So even though Umar, coming from a Nurmagomedov camp, they're going to come in, they're technical, they're here to win the fight. They don't care about the flashy shit. I think he's going to come out here and make a statement. And in Abu Dhabi, right, coming off a loss, so a comeback spot after losing to Merab, gave me Umar Nurmagomedov within the distance against Mario Batista. And I know that's a fucking take. So I put half a unit on that, but I'm confident in that. Umar's my pick, guys. I think he could find a sub. He could make Mario Batista look like a little kid on the ground. I think he could find the spots. I think he could even ground and pound. I think it's there. Umar Nurmagomedov within the distance at plus 260 when I saw it. I think it's good. Yes, Umar wins, but minus 650, guys, it's too much of a stretch. If you want better odds, Umar by decision, I think that's pretty good because the likelihood is that this fight goes 15 minutes. And in Abu Dhabi, Mario Batista has to take out a Glock. He has to shoot Umar in the chest 15 times. He needs to be pulseless for them to give him the decision. It's just a reality, guys. And you as a betting fan or someone who's watching needs to be weary of that. All right, guys. Last two fights, co-main event. Verna Jandiroba. Man, love that name. Love the look. I love everything about Verna. Mackenzie Dern. I thought you probably thought I was going to be like, oh, I love everything, everything she looks like and everything about her. Not huge on Mackenzie Dern. I got to be honest with you. But let's talk about the fighting. Mackenzie Dern, minus 155 favorite. Verna Jandiroba, plus 125 underdog. Mackenzie Dern came in as the dog and the line flip. Back to what I was talking about earlier, things we're looking for. I got to be frank with you. I don't know what the public is on because I understand a pick'em. I understand Verna as a slight favorite, but I don't know about Mackenzie Dern gonna get she's probably gonna get close to minus 200 on Fight Time tomorrow. And I just don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on here because I'm all over Verna. I like Verna. Verna has made significant improvements from their last fight 5 years ago. And again, I have to say 5 years ago. Think about what the hell you were doing at this time 5 years ago. You're not the same person. These people aren't the same fighters. And if there's somebody who's been consistent on getting better, building herself up, taking out big names, getting better in the division, mastering her form of fighting, it's been Verna. Now, Mackenzie Dern. Yes, she's good. And I got to be honest with you, she has made significant improvements. Even like 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, she's out there fighting and her chin is up in the air and she's looking up to the heavens. It's like, this girl fucking sucks at striking. And she was durable. That would get her through fights. She's on her back. She throws up this crazy armbar. People are going crazy. Yeah, jiu-jitsu's her shit, and she's a threat. But her striking was awful. One thing I'll say against Amanda Ribas, number one, she found the finish. Pretty impressive. Not the end of the world, but pretty impressive. But her striking looked a lot more crisp. And that is the only edge I'm going to give her here. The only edge. Because I think that Verna could get takedowns. I think she's good enough grappling that she could stay safe. Of course, Mackenzie Dern is a threat, right? But Verna, I think, is going to be the Marab in this fight. I think she's going to take her down. Mackenzie Dern's going to be comfortable on her back, throwing up submissions. Boom. Round two. Okay, we come out. There's a little exchange. Oh, Mackenzie Dern. Oh, she landed some strong shots. Oh, what a great jab. She's moving forward. Boom, takedown. Okay, we're going to start round three. Okay, same thing. Round four, round five. And yeah, I could see Mackenzie Dern landing bigger strikes in the beginning of the rounds, but I think Verna, it's going to be consistent. I think she's just going to be on her, like white on rice. Same thing. She's going to be going for the takedowns. I think she's going to be able to maybe even get to her back. She's going to be doing things, and I'm going to be taking a shit the whole time because I know Mackenzie Dern has subs up her sleeve. I know she could play the jiu-jitsu game really well. So, but I think the majority of the fight's going to be on the ground. Now, two concerns. One, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Verna wants to strike with Mackenzie Dern. I don't think it's a good idea. Mackenzie's gotten better. Mackenzie's very durable. I don't see Verna doing anything to her standing, but maybe she could keep up. That's my hope. And then the cardio. Mackenzie Dern, even though she's exhausted and stuff, man, she keeps moving forward. She'll get dropped 5 times and still move forward. They've both been in 5-round fights. So I understand the Mackenzie Dern part for a bit if you think she's going to be able to keep this fight standing. But I just think Verna's a fucking dog. And I think she's going to come out here. She's the fighter who's worked harder. She's the fighter who it's now or never. Mackenzie Dern could still have a second win in her career. But I believe Verna's getting close to 40. She's looked good, man. They both have. It's a close fight, but I lean Verna. I'm going dog. I think she wins this fight potentially by decision. What does the UFC want? Definitely Mackenzie Dern. If you look at the reel they posted, and it has like 4 million views in a few hours just because you see Mackenzie Dern's ass. It's crazy, dude. It's like, come on. The UFC is dying for Mackenzie Dern to be a champ or something. Guys, the big kahuna, the main event, Tom Aspinall, Cyril Gane. God, we've been waiting for Tom Aspinall to be in this position for quite some time, and we get to see him defend the freaking belt for the first time. John Jones happily retired. Getting erections with Hasbulla, that's his own issue. Cyril Gane. So let's start off with the odds. Tom Aspinall's a -400 favorite. Yes, potentially a little wide, and Cyril Gane's a +300. But let's talk about the facts. Tom Aspinall has not seen a second round in like I don't know how many years, bro. Maybe as old as I am. Like literally, Tom Aspinall, man, it's kill or be killed in there. He's going to risk it all. He's very powerful. He's just one of these guys with brute strength. He's massive for the division. Then on the other hand, you have Cyril Gane. Cyril Gane is a very French fighter. Like you see him, and I feel like it should be like Petty, because he's this fucking heavyweight. Look at him, his physique. He looks like a freaking action figure, and he comes in here, bouncy as hell, quick, great footwork, right? The best footwork in the heavyweight division is Cyril Gane. But then he's just gonna out jab you. He's gonna outpoint you. He doesn't really have knockout power. He's a guy that breaks you down. He's not a guy who's gonna find the kill switch. And I want to repeat that. Cyril Gane's a guy who breaks you down. He's not going to find the kill switch. So I think Tom Aspinall is going to come in here. I think the threat level is going to be low. I think Tom Aspinall has the grappling and wrestling edge in general, the jiu-jitsu threat. He's a black belt. So if he wants to play the John Jones games, he comes in here. He brings down Cyril Gane. He submits him. But I think it's going to go a little different. I think I think Tom Aspinall being that it's his first title defense, I think he really wants to make a statement. And I don't think he wants to come in here and just sub him like John Jones did. I think he wants to come in here and fucking sleep Cyril Gane. And that concerns me a little bit because I am going Tom Aspinall round one. I mean, why the fuck wouldn't I? How often have we seen that? That's the right move, in my opinion. So I like Tom Aspinall round one. But I think the problem is if he wants to really strike with Cyril Gane, I think Cyril Gane could play smart enough and stay away from danger enough to make it to like round 2 or 3. And that's concerning for my bet. Not necessarily concerning for Tom Aspinall, but for my bet. Now, if we get out of round 1, I think Tom Aspinall's coaches is like, hey, fun's over. We gave you a round to finish him. Take him down, submit him. Because the further this fight goes on, the more I like Cyril Gane. Because number one, we haven't seen Tom Aspinall in later rounds. We haven't seen him in any rounds, right? Other than the first. So that concerns me. I don't want to see Tom Aspinall in championship rounds. I don't even want to see him in the third round. I want him to finish this in 2 rounds. So if he strikes with Cyril Gane, purely striking in the first round, trying to set some stuff up, I understand it. But he needs to go back to his corner and his team needs to tell him, enough fun, take him down and fucking submit him right now before this gets dangerous for us. Because everything after the second round, I favor Cyril Gane. I favor the bounce in his step. I favor his volume. I favor just a simple jab lighting up Tom Aspinall, and he'll take that shit to a decision. Not saying Tom has 25 minutes of cardio, right? But I don't like it. So I think Tom comes out here, looks for a knockdown in round 1, but the second there's no knockdown in round 1, I think he needs to come in round 2, start grappling, look for the sub. I think that's the reality because with your first title defense, I think he wants to make it a point like, I'm the killer in this division. Anybody who steps in front of me is going to get knocked out because that's what the people want to see. And that's how he's going to make the big bucks. That's when Papi Dana is going to bring out the wallet, when he's knocking out everybody, including Cyril Gane. Like, who do you give him after? The winner of Volkov, Halton, Almeida? He's going to starch them too. So look out, Tom Aspinall, knockout round 1. Anything after round 1, I think it's a sub, but I'm fairly confident in Tom Aspinall in this fight. If for whatever reason we get out of the second round, guys, or we're nearing the second round, and I see Tom Aspinall lose some pep in his step, I am live betting Cyril Gane. I'm telling you that right now. You could come back to me later if that shit happens, but rounds 3, 4, and 5 most likely will be for Cyril Gane. I don't care what is going on. It's probably his. So, guys, UFC Abu Dhabi, 10 a.m. start time. 2 p.m. main card start time. The official picks. I have Tom Aspinall within the distance. Werner Jandiroba, most likely decision. Umar Nurmagomedov, I'm calling within the distance. However, highly likely for it to go to decision. Halton Almeida, within the distance. I'm going Azamat Murzakanov, and I really do think he finds the knockout as he has been. If not, decision. Maybe a shady one. Could be a split. Nazrat Hakparas over Kilin Saukilt. I have him by decision. Ikram Alaskarov absolutely starching the Iron Turtle. And I am so adamant about that I hope I'm not wrong because I'm going to look like an idiot. I have Ludovic Klein outpointing Mateus Rebecki, staying away from danger. Rebecki's durable as hell, so maybe he makes it to a decision. Ludovic Klein by decision. Jose Miguel Delgado. I'm going to take him by finish. I think he potentially starches Nathaniel Wood. I'm fucking taking it. And I'm sorry about what I said earlier. Nathaniel Wood's not on short notice. I made that. I got him confused with this other guy, this other Aussie guy. Walter Walker, under 1.5 rounds. Give it to me. He could full mount and beat the shit out of him. He could find another heel hook. He could find the fucking arm triangle, whatever the hell he wants. Walter Walker by finish. Hamdi Abdelahab against Chris Barnett. Guys, this is a crazy one. If you weren't a part of it, Chris Barnett. And I have him inside the distance. Chris Barnett by knockout, plus 700. Freaking call it, guys. I'm not trusting Hamdi. Can he win a decision here? Absolutely. Can he win by knockout? Absolutely. But I don't like minus 475 for this hunk of trash from Egypt. Fuck it. Chris Barnett by knockout. Azamat Maxim, potentially with inside the distance. I'm calling it. I think he fucking dances around Mitch Raposo, guys. Last but not least, Jacqueline Amorum, either round 3 or decision, guys. You have it there. You have it there. My full picks. I didn't give you odds, but I gave you my insight, what I think is going to happen. Again, it's been a rough couple of weeks, but I hope that after a live, confident breakdowns, I'm trying to refocus. Yes, guys, I have a full-time job. I'm a grown-ass man with responsibilities. This is a side hustle, so dedicating this much time is hard sometimes, but I hope we're back. I hope you liked this video. If you did, guys, for the algorithm, like, subscribe, comment. I didn't say that earlier. I really appreciate all of you. I'll stay on here for like 5 more minutes answering questions if there are any. I'm going to read the chat. Appreciate you all. Miss these streams, bro. Absolutely. Let me give you some love. I missed you and that pug. I missed that too. I'm betting 3.5K on Verna straight bet. Opinion. She's my pick. But this is what I will say. If you don't have $3,500 to lose, don't bet it. I tell people, whatever you lose, you got to be comfortable losing, right? If you're comfortable losing $50, let it be $50. If you got that bread and you're comfortable losing $3,500, lose it. You have it. As long as you're okay with losing your money. That's what I always say. Do not gamble money you're not willing to lose. It's just fair, because if not, you're going to ruin your fucking life. And I think that's great advice, and I've given it to everybody. Barnett is going to win casual. That's literally what I said. MMA casual is back. Thank God. Missed you, Andy. Thank you, sir. I appreciate the support. Harold from what looks like Mexico. Is that Venezuela? Colombia? Anyway, I just looked ignorant, but welcome, brother. Happy to have you back. Hope you're still here. Not gonna lie, you have had a bad streak. How you feeling? I answered that question already, you fucking asshole. Anyway, he's one of the best cappers. I have him 253 wins, 129 losses. I have to see what that comes out to. Probably high 60s. I wanted to be in the 70s as soon as I started doing this, but it is what it is. Crazy that you keep track. I really do appreciate that. Obviously, you're one of my real deal followers, so I appreciate that. All right, and then back to Joseph. Guys, if there's no chat, nothing else to say, I got 16 of you in here. I really do appreciate you all. I can't tell you enough. Like I said, I know I've been inconsistent. I hope you enjoyed this video. The studio looks better. The camera looks good this time around. I'm going to be all over it, especially for my pay-per-views. I'm strongly considering doing a live stream tomorrow. Strictly. It is at 10 a.m., so I got to wake up early, come over here to the studio. If I get enough people committing to a live stream tomorrow, I will happily get my ass up at 8 in the morning, get over here, get ready, prep everything, and watch all these fights with you guys. I will freaking do it. Is it tough for me to do it? Yes. Do I want to do it on a Saturday morning? Not necessarily, but I'm considering a live stream just because I've been gone for so long. I will do a poll on Instagram, see how many people say yes. You read it again. You haven't been posting NFL. Will you be back? To be honest with you, man, I want to stay consistent with like my MMA casual stuff. I was thinking of in my subscribers, I could split it up, like people who want NFL shit. I've bet on hockey, everything. I like sports and I like betting. I'm a degenerate, but I don't want to hyper focus on other sports because not only does it take up more of my time, but I don't want to commit to it. When I give you bets, guys, they're really well thought out. I'm not saying I'm always going to make you money. Sometimes we lose money. I had the worst week of my betting career last week. It does happen, but it just becomes so vague, right? Because it's so much to keep up with. Sometimes for the NFL, I do like long shot parlays or crazy money lines for fun and this, that, the other. So Berna better win this for me. Hey, man, I hope so. I hope that you have 3.5K ready to go just in case, because that's a close fight. That's the reality of it. So you got to take that for what it is. Guys, I appreciate you at 7:20 Eastern time. Like I said, if you follow me on Instagram, thank you. Go answer the poll. Maybe I'll be live tomorrow at 10 a.m. Don't tell me you want to be a part of the live if you're not going to watch it. I'll do it if I get a good amount of people on it. I think it'll be fun. Other than that, I appreciate you all. You guys have an absolutely wonderful night. Thanks again. And go subscribe to my Winnable and my Instagram for exclusive bets. See you later.